Assalamu alaikum guys. Today is Tuesday the 17th of March 2020. Hope all is well. Thought I might as well do another video regarding this coronavirus because the last time we spoke people realized how serious this was, but the government didn't. And last night our Prime Minister done his little speech and his press conference and said a few things which I wanna discuss today. Now, before I begin, just to let you all know that I've imposed a self-isolation on myself and my family. I've pulled my kids out of school and we're under lockdown. We haven't gone out there and done our shopping the way you see all these Muppets on all the videos that are going viral. We have both the basic needs and we're cooking at home and we're doing the stuff as normal, if you know what I mean. Now, basically, Boris Johnson came up and goes, which he should have done in the beginning. But before we get to that, let's compare what the UK has done to other European countries. Now, Italy, as soon as this virus broke out there, Italy, Spain, Belgium, and even France. And let's go a little more closer. Ireland, they were under lockdown. They closed everything, the schools, everything was shut down. And what Italy done was to take the pressure off the citizens. They stopped all the gas, electric bills, water bills, and any mortgage payments. And if the mortgage payments have stopped, then landlords can't charge rent. So tenants that are renting places, they don't have to pay the rent because the landlord doesn't have to pay no mortgage. So at least it helps, yeah? They've closed all the schools and the governments are actually assisting the citizens. Now, what has Great Britain, guess what Great Britain has done? For the first month, they've just been telling everyone to just wash their hands. Wash your hands. So for the last month, all the British citizens have just been washing their hands. And last night, the Muppets come up, Boris Johnson, our Prime Minister. He's come up at the press conference and basically states that, you know, if you've got any symptoms such as temperature, a cough, and a sore throat, you need to stay home for 14 days. Now, why didn't he tell us ways to how to deal with schools? I'm not bothered about the schools. My kids' lives are more important to me than any schools. A school cannot dictate to us about our safety of our children. We as parents are within our rights to protect our children. I have pulled out my kids from school because I had a sore throat. And at that time, a sore throat, after 4 days, it would turn into a cough and stuff like that. So I'm not taking a risk. But don't you think the government should have had guidelines? I mean, that Muppet, when he was standing out there on the press conference last night and he was telling us what to do and what not to do, don't you think he should have at least set out all the ways of how, if you were going to stay home for 14 days, then how you should go about contacting the teachers and how you should go around it? He didn't. He turned around and told parents to stay at home and work from home. Yeah? And basically stay away from any mass gatherings. Now, what is a mass gathering? Does that mean a football match? Does it mean a nightclub? Well, he said nightclubs, stay away from nightclubs. Stay away from pubs, yeah? A pub has 30 people, 40 people. How many pupils does a class have? So he completely shut out the schools. He forgot about the schools. He forgot about the kids. That's not mass gathering, is it? It's playgrounds. Yeah. In the class, there's 30 to 40 children in each class. That's not mass gathering. Parents, when they come to drop them off, because all the kids have the same time, the doors are opening at the same time. They're collecting their kids at the same time when school finishes. That's mass gathering, isn't it? So while the government tries to figure out ways to solve this issue, which I don't think they can, people have got no choices but to take things into their own hands. So let's start. We're from Luton, Bedfordshire, the United Kingdom. And we've got a few, mashallah, we've got a lot of masjids here. And now the masjids have started closing down. Yesterday there was a janazah in Westbourne Road, and somebody came in who had the virus, the coronavirus, and they've shut down the Westbourne Road Masjid. The Islamic Centre on Bury Park Road has shut down, and many other masjids have started shutting down. There's not going to be no Jummahs there. So, we're going to have to, work together and try to contain this, because the government's not doing nothing for us. Sorry, I've got a list of things. That I need to cover. Another issue that's coming up is our Asian shops, the DESI shops. Now, we normally see this in third world countries where people try to take advantage of certain situations, and us lot sitting on the other side of the pond, me especially, I always wonder, what are these people thinking? Don't they realize they have to answer to God after all this is over? And they're taking this money and feeding their kids with this money. So they're not only just messing up their own akhirah, they're going to mess it up for their children, because, haram money runs into the bloodstream and starts messing up generations from generations. So a grandfather can do something and the great-grandchildren might have to pay for it. That's just the way it is. The saying, the world is round, goes round. And what goes around comes around. So now what's going on is the British government has clearly said that there's no food shortages, so don't stockpile. So again, those muppets that are stockpiling, they're not thinking about others. They're buying so much stuff that half of that stuff is going to get wasted. It's going to be out of date, if it already isn't out of date. I mean, people are so spooked up that they don't even check the dates. So for all those muppets that have loaded up all their trolleys and basically, stopped other people from having them things that they need, to day-to-day living things, yeah? Check the dates on those things, man. I mean, if you bought 40 boxes of cereal or bread or eggs, check the dates on them. They're not going to be lasting that long. Milk, But now what's going on is now the shopkeepers have started taking advantage of this, and obviously haven't been out, but I'm getting a lot of calls and still running the businesses from home on the phone, and we're still talking to people. So getting a lot of complaints coming in regarding Asian shops, local Asian shops, taking the mick when they've, somebody sent me a message regarding a shop in Birmingham that's doing green chilies have gone up to £15 a kilo. £15 green chilies. And meat has gone up, and tomatoes have gone up, and everything's gone up. So basically, we're like Pakistan right now. All those people in Pakistan that are complaining about price hikes, you're in a third world country and you're moaning. We're one of the top end, we're supposed to be one of the top end countries in the UK. And look what's happening to us here. And it's our own people that are doing it. Now, the British government needs to start clamping down on these people. They need to turn around and start, putting out notices that if they catch anyone, they're going to fine them or even close them down. And what I would say to all our community members, that if you see anyone, record and name and shame them, and then report it to the government. Send it to the higher people in the higher up offices that can do something about it with video evidence that these guys are doing this with the prices. And let's turn around, work together and teach them a lesson. Because at the end of the day, the last thing we need is our people trying to abuse the system when everybody is scared. Everybody is scared and everybody is worried about life, and these guys are trying to scrounge every single penny they can out of you. So I reckon we should all work together and let's name and shame these guys, get video and photo evidence and name and shame, even if it means somebody going and buying and paying the money and filming it, and then name and shame these muppets and let's get them closed down. But then you're going to have to live with no shops at all rather than someone selling you something that's a little expensive. But that's just the way it is. We can't have everything on the table, so you have to give and take. Another thing I wanted to cover was I'm getting a lot of messages, a lot of videos, even on Facebook and YouTube, about DESI cures. Because the government ain't doing nothing. They haven't told you that what you should have and what you shouldn't. People around the world are just making up. They'll all become doctors. Yeah? I remember there used to be a guy who used to call himself a doctor back home. But he used to be a gardener here for me. He used to actually literally go out there and do gardening. And he wasn't a doctor. I presumed he was a doctor because everyone called him a doctor. But his nickname was a doctor. But now we have a doctor in every household. I'm a doctor in my house right now. I'm telling my family what to eat, how to do things, because somebody has to be in charge. Somebody needs to take control. But it doesn't mean you make things up. You need to check up on it, yeah, before you dictate. Now, basically, I'm gonna go through a few. There's some funny ones. I'm sorry. I mean, this is a serious situation here. But our people just don't understand. I'm going to start with India first. India basically are saying that if you bathe in cow dung, cow poop, the coronavirus won't touch you. Some people are eating it. Cow poop. Eat it and the coronavirus is not going to touch you. They're drinking cow urine. And the secret behind that is it has to be fresh. So you basically put a glass underneath the cow when the cow is urinating, and it has to be warm, and it still has to be fizzy and bubbly, and they're drinking it, and they're saying this is the cure for coronavirus. This is what the world has come up to, people. This is what it's become, you know. So when you've got doctors, so-called doctors, telling you that you should eat cow dung and drink cow urine to cure yourself from coronavirus, and people are actually doing it. Mind you, cow urine you can actually buy from here. Indians have been bringing it into the country for years now, and they're saying that it cures cancer, and it cures blood pressure, and it cures diabetes, and it cures arthritis, and it cures any disease. And it's been going on for years, and we've been having a laugh about it. But now, those guys are smashing it. There's another doctor from Saudi. He's basically saying that the coronavirus will not last around the heat, the warm weather. So what he's advised is get a hairdryer, and every day make every single family member, from adults to children, to put it near their faces, the what's in the hairdryers, the one with the warm air, and inhale that air, warm air, and that will not let the virus settle inside your body, and it will finish it off. So hairdryers, for us guys here, hairdryers are in every household. But I feel sorry for those people that don't even have electric. What are they going to do with the hairdryer? Half of the people don't even know what a hairdryer is. They probably think it's a gun. And then there's the basics, which I've been using in my household. And to be honest with you, I think it's working, and I would recommend it. And these are natural, God-gifted medicines that have been given to us. The Chinese have been using them for years, and and the DESI cures. Desi cures are like garlic, ginger, onions, black pepper, honey. So what I do is with every meal, since I've been isolated at home, I'm I've taken the responsibility to cook for all the family members myself, so I know what's being done. And what I'm doing is I'm cooking, and I've told the kids, my kids, the kids, it's very difficult for the kids. I mean, I don't know about other kids, but my kids, you know, it's very difficult for them to eat garlic and ginger. But when I've sat them down and told them that there's no other way because the government is not telling us what we should and what we shouldn't, all they're telling us to do is just stay at home, locked up, and stay away from people. Don't go and buy anything, but you can go out for a walk. What the hell is going on? Can't the government even get top-notch doctors or those scientists that are advising them to come up on TV and tell people, okay, avoid these things and do these things rather than just washing your hands? Yeah, us as Muslims, we have to wash ourselves 5 times a day just to do the prayers. Yeah, so I don't think washing your hands is going to be enough. Yeah, this is a disease that you can't cure just by keeping yourself clean. You have to have other people around you to be clean as well. So everybody needs to buy lote. Lote are those plastic little things. I mean, I saw a video. Somebody pulled a lote out and goes, "Oh, what's this?" And this lady goes, "Oh, it looks like a hookah," or I think she said it was an inhaler. You put hot water into it, and you put some Vicks into it, and you could inhale, which is a really good idea. So, guys, rather than rushing and buying, bog roll, toilet paper, go and buy lotas. Lotas will last you forever. You can buy a lota each for every single member of the household. They cost £1 each. Now, with the price hike, they're probably going to £2, but they last forever. Bog roll is going to run out. Bog roll is coming from foreign countries. You don't know if it's going to be contaminated already or not. So guys, you need to lock onto these things. Now what I do is I turn around and I keep my kids away from ibuprofen. It's like Calpol, and then you got ibuprofen. Keep them away from that. I don't know why, for some reason, I've read it up somewhere and they're saying that causes more damage. So I wouldn't, because I don't know much about it, I will not risk that. So basically what I'm doing is every meal I'm giving my kids 2 spoons. This is with the meal, so I'm not starving my kids before you guys start moaning and start complaining. What I'm doing is I'm giving them their normal healthy meal, but what I'm doing is I'm adding a tablespoon of sliced onions, a tablespoon of garlic and ginger, cut up into little pieces, mixed with a little bit of lemon on there, and some black pepper. So what I'm doing is, I'll give you an example. I made them some codfish yesterday, and what I done was I added it on top, and the kids ate it and they loved it and they feel better. So I would advise that stick to the natural things. Try giving them a spoon of honey with some pepper on it. For the elderly, try giving them chilies, a little bit of chili. These things will help. Yeah, stay away from fizzy drinks, stay away from sweets, and if you've put yourself in self-isolation, then you need to stick to it. That means that you need to stop people from coming and visiting. Like my mom's just come out of hospital, and we've got so many people that want to come. It's sad, but we have to tell them that you can't, not just for our own safety, but for their safety. Because if any of us have got it, then they might get it, and they might go back and then give it to their kids and that. So we're not going to take a risk. Alhamdulillah, we're all good. My sore throat is in control. I've had it for the last 4 days. They're saying it should last 5 days. After 5 days, it should start giving me, get me worse. Like I shouldn't be feeling better. The cough should start now. Alhamdulillah, I'm good. I'm all good at the moment. I just want you all to keep me in your prayers, keep my family in your prayers, and just keep safe. Avoid going out. Don't fall for this, the shopping business thing. What happens is you just need to buy rice, flour, onions, and eggs and bread, and you can just cook at home. Buy your dals, buy your vegetables. Get the tins yeah, and just relax at home. You don't need to panic. I mean, I had a friend who went to Tesco's and he goes to me, it was completely empty. And he picked up a few things and there were people looking in, like his trolley and saying, oh, yeah, yeah, I got enough. They think as though there's nothing left. So what did you expect him to do? He has to pick up as much as he can as well because he thought the Tesco's are gonna close down or something. The reality is they're not. It's just all panic mode. People are making money and we need to stop all this. So guys, I know the video's got a little longer. I hope you've learned something from this. Again, as parents, it's our duty to protect our children, and we need to protect our children. We don't need no government or no school or anyone to tell us how to take care of our kids. I'm not taking a risk, and as parents, I'm sure you do not want to take a risk. So you're within your right to keep your children home. Why do we have to be used as guinea pigs? Why? Why should the government use us as guinea pigs? So, guys, I'm going to leave you to that, and I'm going to do another video in a few days, and hopefully give you an update on what things are happening around the world, and how we are getting on in this self-isolation. Keep us in your du'as. Please like, share, comment below, and don't forget to subscribe. Allah Hafiz.